I'm Scott L. Miller. It is the 20th of May, 2022. It is Friday. Today I am doing my video while doing a walk of the Barrio of Zaragoza. That's the Iglesia Zaragoza right behind me. You can't miss it. It's the big church that's in my viewfinder. And I'm walking north on Calle 6, so if you're looking at a map, you can see where I'm headed. I got some comments that people love my Barrio walks, and I love doing them. And I'm actually recording this on Saturday in the rain with the power out here in León. Just as I recorded yesterday's video, I ran back in between the videos and determined that the power was still out. So grabbed the camera again and off we went. I'm gonna get down off the sidewalk here, see if I can get around on the street. Awesome. And figured I would head into Zaragoza and get a walk in while we're waiting for the power to come back. Perfect timing. So Friday, this was a continuation of yesterday. Pretty much got going for the morning, got my coffee, was straight into the office, did my necessary social media stuff that I got to do first thing in the morning, and then it was straight into phone calls and for the rest of the day. It's not very often that I actually play the HR manager role, so doing that the last couple days has at least been a change of pace and interesting, and there is a fun aspect to it. If it wasn't unexpected work when I had other things I needed to do, it would be not so much a problem. But I did, before we got too far this morning, the one thing that I did do, I did have an errand I had to run. I had to pay some bills. So I actually came up to Zaragoza, right back there, turned to the church and went down, grabbed Kat, she came with me. And just a quick 20-minute walk, dropped off some money, got a receipt, walked back, right? But so we did that in the morning, and then as soon as we got back, Yvonne was waiting. She grabbed Kat and they went off to do the shopping together. Kat thought that would be a lot of fun to see the shopping process at work, and Yvonne thought it'd be nice to not have to do it alone. So they're having a fun day. Doing hotel work together, but it probably is pretty interesting for Kat because she's never done anything like that here, and it's an opportunity for her to really see shopping at work. It is crazy humid. It's quite cool out today. It's nice, but it's kind of drizzly, so I'm a little bit wet from that, and it's really humid, so I'm still kind of sweating, so it's a little bit sticky even though it's not at all hot, which is a little bit unfortunate, but I love the rain. But I'm also carrying the GoPro with the media kit, so I'm a little bit worried about it getting rained on, and I have the Volta with me, which is not ideal because it's not waterproof. So I'm taking my chances. If it starts to rain, I gotta throw the hat over the camera and kind of hoof it back pretty quickly. When the rain comes here, it tends to be pretty heavy, pretty fast. Now I'm still on 6th, I'm heading north. I believe I'm attempting to do some learning of where things are in Zaragoza more than what I've seen before. Now I've done a bit of walking in Zaragoza, but there's some streets I've never done, and now I have a better understanding from some of my other videos. If you watch the one where I did Day Out with Martina, we went to a bar and restaurant that overlooked a ravine, and we had these gorgeous views of Zaragoza from El Centro, and I believe I am on the street that actually has the buildings that you look at from there. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's where I am. That's at least where I'm attempting to be. So we're gonna explore. Maybe I'm way off on location. I'm not completely sure. I'm definitely going into an area where there are not a lot of people expecting me to be here, because there's the road kind of ends everywhere I look. Nope. I kind of came to a dead end. There's nothing here. There is the ravine. So I'm pretty sure that is the ravine we're talking about. We're gonna head a street to the west and see if we can go any farther. Actually, let's go east and see what there is. Oh, and look at these doggies. Always doggies on the streets. Zaragoza is a nice neighborhood. I like it a lot. It's basically La Barrio's sister on the north side of Rubén Darío. So it's kind of a middle-class neighborhood, just as La Barrio is. It's relatively safe, but it gets a lot less tourist traffic. Not that either of them gets tourist traffic, but of expats or people who are visiting and walking from El Centro and just exploring. You're gonna get a lot more of them in La Barrio than you're going to in Zaragoza. As you head east in Zaragoza, you do start mingling into downtown. So parts of Zaragoza actually feel like part of El Centro. So in the southeast corner of it, you start having restaurants and everything, and some of the clubs are actually in Zaragoza. La Barrio really ends before you get to El Centro, so they're a little bit different in that way. But once you get away from that touching El Centro portion, Zaragoza starts to get much more isolated. Partially, I think, because it has the ravine come right down through the middle of it and really cut it off from El Centro. So once you go any distance to the north, there's no connection coming through, and obviously that just naturally isolates you significantly. So I'm gonna go walk for a little bit, and I will bring you along. My plan is to do a walk, do my talk, and then do a time lapse on the way back, so you guys can kind of get a view of what everything looks like. Let's go.
All right, we're starting our walk all the way on the west side of El Centro. This is 5th Avenue. We're heading south. There's a puppy. And as we come up on 3rd Street on Calle Tres, this takes us into the Barrio Zaragoza. So this is where we were walking earlier. This is actually on the north side of Zaragoza. On the right, this line of houses behind it actually has a ravine and a little bit of a river. So pretty much the barrio ends here. It goes to the left, to the south a bit, but to the right, very, very little. But we're going to turn here because we're past the ravine. We're actually in a different barrio. This is Heroes and Martyrs of Zaragoza. Sounds like maybe it's the same place, but it's not. It's a separate barrio. And you'll notice the streets are completely different, as are the houses. As the barrios change, everything changes. Sidewalks, streets, design, everything. It's really quite amazing, and this one in particular I like a lot. I think it's really cute. I don't know of any expats who live here. It's very much a for locals barrio. I mean, all of the cities for locals, obviously, but this one much more so. Like, most people don't even know it exists. Now we're gonna go north out of this tiny barrio into the sport field, literally Campo Deportivo, that's all it means. We're gonna do a quick turnaround and head out of this barrio into the Barrio La Providencia. This is the large barrio on the west side of the city all the way to the north. It actually goes way north compared to El Centro, and here on 8th Ave, which is the easternmost avenue of the barrio, we're going to go really far north. That mountain you saw right there is the mountain with the radio tower out by Podoloya and Las Pinitas, where we live, so we drive past that on the south side all the time. You may notice me limping a little bit here. I actually injured my foot about a month ago, and on this walk it was starting to hurt. We're pretty sure we figured out that it's broken, just a tiny fracture, and the day after this I was unable to walk and had to ice it, and it's pretty bad. As we come down here, we're actually coming down to the bridge. There's a ton of trash on the bridge. It's insane. The river doesn't have nearly as much trash here in the north as the southern one does, and this one's really beautiful, the San Felipe River here. It's very sad that there's trash in there, but still nothing like the one on the south. I like this area, but man, this bridge has a lot of trash.
I've definitely walked so far that I am not just past the northern border of Zaragoza, I'm outside León. I am right now just north of the bridge over the river on the north side of the city from central Zaragoza. So we did a bunch of walking in high speed through Zaragoza. I hopefully got some really cool footage. It is such an interesting and beautiful barrio, and up here in the north it is so quiet. I actually feel like I'm in the jungle. It's all wild tropical birds and stuff going on. Like, you can really hear it. I can't hear anything else. There's no sounds of humans going on up here. There's the occasional motorcycle that goes through. There's some people on the trail back there. I can see some houses and movement up in front, but I'm not completely isolated, but it is quiet. They can definitely all hear me talking, even though I'm pretty far away. This is a pretty neat area though, and of course there's people behind me as I say it, so I'm not totally isolated by any stretch. This is a really cool area, and I love the river and the hills and the views, and especially like the views of the mountains and the volcanoes from up here is really nice, and no one ever gets to see this. And as I was walking, San Cristobal is smoking just a little bit. So unfortunately, Kat's out at the beach as I'm doing this, so she's not here to see it because she's been very interested in seeing the volcanoes actually smoke. It'll probably be going for a while, so she'll probably get to see it later, but it's smoking pretty well, and I could see it. I don't know if you saw it from the video because it was kind of in high speed, but when I came through the park, I was aimed at it, and you could see the smoke coming out the top of the volcano. All right, I'm gonna spin this around. I'm on the Volta. Hopefully it's charging the battery as we do this. We're gonna head back and see if we can get some more of Zaragoza as we go.
All right, now we are southbound on 8th Avenue, still just turned around from the bridge, and we're going back into La Providencia. Little quick look there to the east towards El Centro. You can kind of get a feel, if you can see it that fast, of kind of what that wild area because of the river and the ravine are like there. It's pretty interesting. Sadly, the road's not paved up here, but it's actually a pretty nice area other than the fact that the road is kind of muddy. Maybe they'll be extending pavers sometime soon. I don't know. This is a large church here on the left. It's very surprising. It was super modern with like a whole band set up in there, like drum kit and electric everything. It was really nice, completely out of character with the other buildings in the area. Here we're back to the pavers in the more popular part of La Providencia, and you'll notice as we turn into this one, just as we did with the other barrios, the look and feel of this barrio is completely different than all the others. And this is one of those things that I love about Nicaragua, and especially love about León, this incredibly unique look and feel to every one of the barrios. Little tiny areas with completely their own character. Well, I don't know if the communities have done this or city planning has, but they really take these little barrios and make them their own. The sidewalks, the roads, the materials used to make the roads, the flora, the layout of restaurants and different businesses that are available, absolutely everything, even the width of the roads, whether they're designed for cars or designed for pedestrians, changes between the barrios. And so you get a ton of variety in a really small space, and each one is just really unique and interesting and a lot of fun. I'm gonna actually zigzag through Providencia a little bit because I like it so much. I want to show you some of the areas I've seen. We're only seeing really the eastern half of Providencia. The western half I will do on another walk sometime. But I do want to point out, because a lot of my viewers are expats or potential immigrants, people who are looking at places that they might be interested in buying. And can you buy or rent up here? Of course you can. Is it safe? Yes, to the best of my knowledge, these are pretty safe areas, at least in these paved areas. But I don't know of any expats, anybody who moves up here. Zaragoza, I know a few. That's different. That's towards El Centro. But up here in these northern ones that you don't know the names of, it's really, you'd be the only expat in these areas. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but be aware, no expat realistically is considering these areas in any way whatsoever. We just came back into Zaragoza, so we're still on 8th. Once again, the same one that took us really far north, and we can see Ruben Dario in the distance. When we cross that, we will leave Zaragoza and switch from the northern barrios, here it is, to the southern ones. Now we're in Sutiava, which mirrors Providencia and Zaragoza on the south. And that's the biggest barrio. There's the Park of the Indian that I often go to. We're going to turn to the left in just a minute and go east into La Barrio, which we're running along here. And this is where we often are. Please remember to like and subscribe. I love doing these barrio walks. This was a lot of fun. I hope we can do them in the future. I'll see you all tomorrow.